You can have it all because each one of us define having it all differently. So if you want it, go for it because you can have it.
I always wanted to be an actress. As I grew up, it was like, that doesn't happen to small Canadian girls. That was a really limiting belief that was not my own. But I also find that I could make my own path.
I'd always told myself that I could never have a family and be successful in business. In the next 3 years, I'm going to figure out how to have an even bigger business, an incredible family, and help other people do the same.
If you all lost it all and you had to start over tomorrow, what would be 3 steps that you would do?
I'd first start with energy. It's all about alignment and then momentum, and I would create massive momentum.
I would continue to eliminate the word just from my vocabulary.
Look at what I could have done differently and then get super clear on what it is that I want to do.
Look at the people that might have been a part of helping me to lose it all, remove those, and the people that I would trade places with, hone in on following their advice.
Go into an industry where I can.
Welcome back to the ReLaunch to a Rich Life podcast. Today we continue with part 2 of this extraordinary panel from our ReLaunch to a Rich Life live event in Scottsdale, Arizona. You already experienced part 1 and felt the power these women bring into every room. Their courage, truth, and leadership made this one of the most meaningful conversations of the entire event. And in part 2, we go even deeper. You're going to hear again from Marley Jaxx, founder and CEO of Jaxx Productions, offering insight into visibility, influence, and stepping into rooms that expand who you are becoming. Christy Whitman, best-selling author and transformational teacher, bringing powerful perspective on alignment, belief, and energetic expansion. Bianca D'Alessio, CEO and founder of the Masters Division at Nest Seekers International, a top-performing real estate leader, speaking to identity, power, and the confidence required to lead in elite spaces. Tina Sue Moser, business strategist and advisor, sharing wisdom on sustainability, clarity, and creating success that actually feels good. Debra Morrison, sharing the realities of leadership, decision-making, and growth at the highest levels. In part 2, you will hear the emotional moments, the unexpected questions, the stories that were never planned, and the insights that only emerge when women feel safe enough to tell the truth. This conversation will stretch you, challenge you, and expand what you believe is possible. Here's something you need to know before you listen. These women did not build 7, 8, and 9-figure businesses by following a formula. They built them by making hard decisions, breaking old identities, and learning how to lead themselves before they ever led anyone else. What you are about to hear is not strategy, it's truth, and it might change the way you think about success going forward. Here is part 2 of this powerful panel from ReLaunch to a Rich Life Live. All right, so I was going to ask you a series of questions, right? And we've done that. We've been there. We're not going to have the same old, same old. So we've been going through 333, right? And I think that what they all want to hear is your first 3, and then your second 3. And Christy, just as a refresher, first 3 is your 3-month or 3-year goal that you are like, if you had this happen, it would change everything for you. Like, this is what I'm going for. The second 3 are the dominoes that need to happen, the 3 things that you know need to take place in order to hit that first 3. And then usually in a 3-3-3 environment, we have the ability, because you're meeting somebody new for 5 minutes, you share your 3-3-3, and then they offer up, well, here's how I can help you. Here's how I can help you. So what I'd like to do, it's kind of like future casting, what's happening, future relaunches. This is where I'm going for. I'm not going to start with you. I'll go ahead, and I'm going to go with Tina. Tina, what is your 3-3?
My 3-3-3 actually increased while I was here.
Yes!
Yes. So when I walk the gold carpet tonight, I will be showing you that I have impacted 1 million women lives of entrepreneurs. And by impact, I mean that they got their life back. The time and financial freedom. And a big part of that is really educating this generation on what real generational wealth means. And I believe that it starts when the children are born. It's not necessarily handing down millions or billions when you die. It is teaching the next generation about how to manage money and how money is actually a fuel to have the time and freedom that you want. So that is that's where I'm going to be in 3 years. Million lives. And the three things that I need is partnerships, because again, I have to live what I preach. And so the social media one-on-one to help these million women would just take too much of my time. So I am looking for partnerships that can help with that. And that's a big one. So the next couple months is really just solidifying all of that, and then getting on stages so that I can really impact as many people as I want or as I can.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, Marley, what about you?
What we're going to be building in the next 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years, as fast as we can, especially in a room like this, and there's amazing connections. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be an actress. I wanted to make movies in Hollywood. And as I grew up and realized, first it was like, that doesn't happen to small little Canadian girls like you. And as I grew up, I started to learn that was a completely limiting belief that was not my own. And not only did I start to believe that, but I also started to find that I could make my own path instead of the typical, Hollywood doing auditions with your hat in your hand, like, please pick me. Instead of pick me, we're going to build what we want to create, build all the productions. But more than that, what we want to build is a completely disruptive kind of network, disruptive again, that it's not going to a network and will you please fund this? It's that we are going to build a network of our own shows, our own podcasts, our own series that are all about entrepreneurs. Because then what we can also do with that is be able to monetize on the back end in the way that other shows or movies or podcasts can't necessarily. My husband has a very unique skill to be able to acquire trials or customers at break even, where a lot of companies, they're trying to retain customers and maybe in 3 to 6 months be able to make that money back. And so what we can do, if we can have a media network that can tell entrepreneurial stories and have brands, their stories woven into that, and then on the back end be able to monetize in a way that's evergreen because this content is on platforms that are getting all the visibility. I think that's going to be really disruptive to what people are doing, and also that these entrepreneurs are going to have a different platform to tell their stories that really deserve to be heard.
And let's give a shout out to Steve, too. Nicely done. All right, I'm going to go to Bianca, because I really want to hear what your 3 through 3 is.
Okay. I would say mine has also shifted while I've been here. I would say particularly after the last panel, because I think I had always told myself that I could never have a family and be successful in business. And that is something I've been telling myself for the past 25 years. And in the next 3 years, I'm going to figure out how to have an even bigger business and have an incredible family and have a great relationship and build community around the two and help other people do the same, because I do think it's possible. I think there's a lot of trade-offs and a lot of sacrifice that happens along the way, and you cannot be disillusioned by that, but it's getting people comfortable with the trade-offs that they make and the sacrifices they make at that point in time, and then knowing when it's okay to pull back. And being okay with that, and not having to feel guilty about that, which is still something I'm struggling with. So hopefully through building community around that, we could create a space for women who could feel empowered to have both and have it all and to feel, liberated in their lives.
Oh, we'll see you in Italy. Okay. Debra, what about you? What's your 3 through 3?
Well, I own the trademark of We Can Do It Women, and I have a Facebook group bearing that name, and I'm looking to get much more engagement in that group and more membership. So it's free. I invite anybody to join We Can Do It Women on the Facebook. So that is a 3-month goal, and also to book speaking engagements on stages around the world. I love to travel. I love to have fun. And so I have a map of the world with pushpins in it and cities and countries that I want to visit. And we're going to do a world tour for the next 3 years to punch out this list and do the one-to-many. I'm also formulating a book bundle, and that's in the first 3 months, the next 3 months. And quite literally, I shared with you this morning, because I have 3 books now and a couple collaborative books, and I have 2 more books that are almost finished. And this morning, I awakened at 4 a.m. and wrote the first 2 chapters of yet another book, spawned by the energy here. So yeah, I'm going to have a back of the room kind of a product that continues to stay relevant over the next 3 years, and I'm hopeful that we can get the word out to women. Particularly, I love to deal with older women, which I define as 60 and wiser, because the socialization has been so horrible. Don't worry your little head over that, Betty. Bob will handle it. And I say, well, that's okay if Bob doesn't die prematurely or come home one day and trade you in for 2 30s. So I gave a TEDx talk called Feel the Financial Fear and Do It Anyway. That would be a help if everybody would go and look at my TEDx and give a comment. Comments have to be more than 7 words long to count, so that would be helpful. But
What's it called?
It's called Feel the Financial Fear and Do It Anyway.
Feel the financial fear and do it anyway.
So I'm on a charge to empower mature women, get out of the sidelines and into the spotlight, whatever your next big dream is. Let's do it. We can do it, women.
All right, Christy, what about you?
First, I want to say to Bianca, I grew a multi-million-dollar, very successful business while having 2 little ones at home and a very successful marriage. And people used to tell me, and it used to piss me off, you can have it all, just not all at the same time. And I say it's BS because I wrote a book called, and it was one of my New York Times bestselling books, called The Art of Having It All. And you can have it all because each one of us define having it all differently. And having it all in your 20s is different than your 30s and your 40s and your 50s. So you define it. Nobody else gets to define it for you. So if you want it, go for it because you can have it. So that's all I wanted to say about that. Well, as far as my 333, I have literally my next baby, my book coming out on Tuesday. So it's called The Flow Factor, and I'm very excited about it. And one of the things that I'm realizing since my other books is this was the one that I wanted to go back on the Today Show and go back on big media and big podcasts. And it's interesting because all of the really big shows now look at social media and go, oh, you're not big enough. Oh, you're not making a big enough impact. Whereas 10 years ago, how many Instagram followers you had didn't really matter because what's your message? What is your book about? What's your qualifications? And now it feels like it's a popularity contest. Whoever has the most amount of followers wins, right? And so that's a limiting belief that I am working right now to release because that's what's pushing back on me. And so on Tuesday, Oprah Daily is running an article on my book. And so that's pretty exciting. That's,
amazing.
25 years ago, I had a be do have list, and everything on my be do have list has come true, including 7 million and all that, and except for Oprah. So I'm like, it's that much closer. So yeah, but having that and all the momentum of dear friends like Debra and Marie Diamond and having me on their shows and mailing for me and lots of other shows coming out and a lot of other podcasts like yourself, that's going to create more of that wave, that momentum, which will then continue to increase followers and increase sales and do it in a way that it's not a popularity contest. So more partnerships like that, of supportive women doing that.
I love it. All right, last question. If you all lost it all right now, and you had to now start over tomorrow, what would be 3 steps that you would do? 3 steps to start building up to another 7-figure business. Christy.
Okay. Well, I'd first start with energy because everything's energy and everything I talk about is energy. So if I'm feeling like a failure and I feel like, oh my God, it's all been lost, what do I want to feel? What do I want to experience? How do I want it? Because if I felt that success before, if I felt that independence or that freedom before, that's mine. And I can feel that again. And so I would literally put myself in a place of feeling my energy and amping up my energy and focusing my mindset and my emotions and my body and my energy field on exactly what I wanted. That'd be the first thing. The second thing is that, the resources that I have, the friends, the people that I could reach out to, I would reach out to them and say, what can I do for you? So that I'm giving, because as you give, you also then receive. So that would be the second thing I do. And then I would work my ass off to get whatever I needed to go, to grind, to do whatever it is, to take the action. From my one book called Quantum Success is all about alignment and then momentum. And I would create massive momentum.
So good. Debra, what would you do?
I would definitely monitor what's between my ears, my thoughts, and certainly my words. And when my self-description might slip into something diametrically opposed to what my best friends would say about me, I would say, Debra, stop lying. And then I would continue to eliminate the word just from my vocabulary. I'm just a financial planner. I'm just a coach. And I would absolutely reach out to all of you to help me get speaking engagements and to get back on the track and be my teammates, because with the sisterhood, we can do it all.
So good. Tina.
First, I would really look at why I lost it all. And I don't look at those as mistakes. I look at those as learning opportunities. So for whatever that reason was, I would take some time to really look at what I could have done differently, or whatever the reason is. And then I would get super clear on how not to do that again. And then very similarly, I would just get super clear on what it is that I want to do for the next, to the next business that I was building, or the next mountain that I'm climbing. Get super clear on that, and then just do the same thing of just have a really good strategy and be in the right room and reach out to the people, not just for the business growth or whatever I was building, but also to make sure that the right words are going in my head and drowning out any of those limiting beliefs that we have.
Marley.
One of my favorite quotes is, don't take advice from someone you wouldn't trade places with. So I would first look at the people that might have been a part of helping me to lose it all, if that was the situation that occurred. Remove those, radical elimination of that. And the people that I would trade places with, because they have a lifestyle that I want, I would hone in on following their advice, what they do, learning by example. And then I kind of looked at Catherine and I smiled, because I was like, well, I would just put together a 6 or 7 figure offer. And boom, we're back, baby. But another one of my phrases or mottos is, the more I play, the more I get paid. And so if something happened in my life that I lost everything, I would go, was I living by that motto? Because there must have been a disconnect somewhere, that if I love what I do, I shouldn't be in this situation. If not, what do I learn from? What's the tuition that I paid to learn that lesson? And we can reframe that as like, okay, that was an expensive tuition, but worthy of it. And then in going to those people, making a 6 or 7 figure offer, how does it align with the more I play, the more I get paid?
So good. And last but not least.
I would look for my business partner first, because I don't think I ever want to start another company by myself again. I love working with people. I love bouncing ideas off someone. So I would look for first my energy match for who I want to enter that next chapter of my life with. 2, I would go into an industry where I can do the things I love the most, one of which being travel. That's super important to me. Right now, my current profession is very New York City focused, and I would love to be more on the road. And number 3, always prioritize having fun, because it goes so fast. And I think that if you have so much fun doing what you love, it's amazing. It's the greatest feeling in the world. So I want to make sure whatever that next thing is, it's a lot of fun.
Ladies, thank you. It is a wrap. What a great big round of applause. Thank you for being here for part 2 of this unforgettable panel. I hope these conversations expanded what you believe is possible in your own journey. If this resonated with you, share it with someone who needs a reminder that their next level is within reach. To learn more about joining us in person at our September 2026 event, head to relaunchtoarichlife.com. Keep showing up, keep tuning in, and keep relaunching towards your rich life. I'll see you on the next episode.